Just when you think it can't get any worse for the Jets. I mean, their head coach goes out there yesterday and embarrasses himself, doubling down. Like, what is this guy doing? Is Saleh that clueless that he's going to hitch his wagon further to Zach Wilson? Like, you've got to be out of your mind, BT.
I got to tell you, I actually resent the position that I'm in today. I resent the fact that I have to defend Saleh here. And I actually have to. And I crushed him yesterday. And I don't think Robert Saleh is very good. I think he's all talk. I don't see enough action. I think he's got no control over the team. I don't think he's very good. Let me flip this back to you. What was he supposed to say?
Get me a new quarterback.
You can't say that.
Dude, yes, he can.
He's taking the bullet for the organization.
He's going further than that. And I don't care. You shouldn't be taking it, but he's going to be fired. Like, does he not get that? First of all, for me, I'd be cleaning house. But Robert Saleh goes out there yesterday. But call it what it is. Call him, hold him accountable. Zach Wilson has been atrocious. Not we need to be better around him. Not we got to give the kid a better supporting cast. Not he's going to be our guy. He gives us the best chance to win. Like, dude, are you lacking awareness? How can he possibly give you the best chance to win?
Listen, it's not going to work for 99% of you that have already dug into the anti-Zach take. I get it. But what I think he's doing is by trying to soften it, and he is. I'm going to give you that. He's softening it a bit because he knows that there's literally nothing else to do. He's not the general manager. So he can get up there and eviscerate his young quarterback who's been drilled by every pundit in every direction across the country and just make it worse, compound it. What he's trying to do is try to salvage something out of the season. Now, whether that works or not, that's not even the discussion for right now. Robert Saleh, there's a lot to get on him about. And I just outlined a couple things. I think he's all talk. I don't think he's got great control over the locker room, going back to the tweets, going back to last year, the Mike White stuff. I've said this for a while. I don't think Robert Saleh is much of an asset on game day. I don't. But he goes out there yesterday, and he's asked about the quarterback. And let's be honest, he looks on the depth, and I don't want to even get into other names right now, but he knows his depth chart currently says Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle. There is nothing else that he can do until his general manager actually gets him another option.
But BT, this is New York, all right? You know that better than anybody. Who's he fooling? Like, we've all watched what's going on. Even if you, and I know you individually like Zach Wilson, even if you do, you admit that they've got to do better. So for Saleh to come out and lie to himself, to his locker room, to us, like, I mean, dude, that's even more embarrassing. We all know what you're doing. To your point, all right, he's defending, he's being a voice piece of the organization, whatever. Like, we all know it. Why can't you just for once be honest about the situation? He's lying through his teeth. He sounds even more clueless than the way that he coaches on Sundays.
I think he was as forthright with one particular thing when he was asked about bringing somebody in, and he said, that's a Joe thing. That was his way of saying, don't include me in this nonsense. Right. That's a Joe thing. That's a Joe Douglas. Go ask Joe.
Right, but
go call Joe.
He's trying to give the support to a quarterback who hasn't earned that support. Now, I'm not saying you got to throw the kid to the wolves, but you can be honest here. Treat him like an adult. I mean, why does he got to be dealt with kid gloves and everybody else gets treated like an adult in that locker room, on the majority of people? You know, that's another part of this thing where Saleh goes out there and he's coddling Wilson. You think that's going to be good for the locker room?
I don't. No, I'm certainly going to give you that. But I'll tell you what, I don't think that he's the only one that's coddled. I think that's the biggest issue with Saleh. And again, I've been a pretty vocal detractor, though I'm certainly defending his position yesterday because I don't think he's got another choice until he's given another player to actually have a decision to make there. But you know, he has coddled Michael Carter. He let him walk up to a coach and just eviscerate the coach. What happened? He kept playing. He let Breece Hall do what he did with the emojis the other day. No problem. No repercussions. Elijah Moore last year was able to do a little bit too much even after wins. He was given too much freedom to voice his displeasure and how he was being used. So, listen, I understand that the perception is that Robert Saleh is just like they just won't take the training. Like the bike that Zach Wilson's still on right now, okay? Think about this visual. It's got training wheels. It's got those little, those little sparkly things that come out of the handlebars from the 1980s, early 80s. Those, I don't even know what you call it. Like the things that like cheerleaders have,
yeah,
like the little thing, whatever they are, those little strings, right? He's got a little bell click, 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 ding, ding. He's got everything except independence. That's Zach Wilson. But the problem is That's really how Robert Saleh handles the rest of the roster. He holds nobody accountable.
He doubled down on saying Zach Wilson is his guy. Like, can you
What should he say? What should he say?
Dude,
tell me. What should he say?
Reality.
Coach Saleh, let's role play. Coach Saleh. I know you're going to go back and review the tape. You always tell us that. If the tape looks as bad as the numbers, what is the next step with the quarterback position for your team?
We need to get better play from the quarterback position. End of story, period. Whether that's Zach, whether it's Tim Boyle, whether it's somebody else, we cannot win with the quarterback playing the way that it's played here. That's it. Simple as that. Like, I'm not embarrassing him. I'm not dressing him down. We all know what's going on. We're all watching the kid. He wasn't designed to play this year. Like, bleep happens. Okay, unfortunately happens to the Jets more than others. But why does Saleh got to go out there and even sound more delusional than he looks when he's standing on the sideline trying to coach a game, specifically against Bill Belichick, but just in general? Like, can you just be honest and give us the truth? There are plenty of coaches. You think Brian Dable will be out there saying, oh, well, you know what? We got to be better around him. Oh, we got to be better around him, and Zach is our guy. Like, dude, he's over the top with the BS. He's trying to, you know what he sounds like, BT? He sounds like he's somebody who's trying to convince himself. There's no way he's dumb enough to believe this nonsense.
What are the problems here? And we caught this a lot with the Yankees over the past couple of years because of myriad mistakes by Cashman. I'm not saying that Boone's, Miller Huggins here, but Boone is left every day to, pick up the residue and answer the questions to mistakes made by the GM. And pertaining to the quarterback position, Robert Saleh, unfortunately, is put in the same exact position as Boone because of a mistake by his general manager, if you deem it an absolute mistake. Now, I don't.
Well, which mistake are we talking about?
Just the mere presence of Zach Wilson, the fact that he was drafted, he's on the roster.
Right.
So, because Joe
apparently
Douglas...
Saleh wanted him too. I mean, I don't know how much I buy that.
Yeah,
but,
we'll never know. Maybe we'll know at some point, when it's over, whenever it's over.
Yeah, when Saleh gets fired at the end of the year, and then the reports start to come out, well, he never wanted Zach Wilson. Anyway, we know the Jets have messed that up every which way possible, but does that mean Saleh's got to stand there yesterday and try to tell us with a straight face that Zach Wilson gives them the best chance to win?
It doesn't. Again, I'm giving you that. But to me, what I'm saying is it's incredibly consistent with how he manages a team. Like,
what's the one thing, though, BT, in New York that we want?
Well, we need honesty.
Yeah,
I understand that. I get it. We do.
Who's he fooling?
But who's he really been honest about? Even whether it's Becton's injuries, whether it's poor play anywhere. Like, he's never been a guy to give you, like Tom Thibodeau. Tom's going to tell you about the defense. Defense got our ass kicked tonight. Unacceptable.
Correct.
And we love that.
Right.
We respect that. Dable is like that. I agree. We like that. We respect that. Saleh's not.
And that's part of the problem. I mean, that's why I have an issue with what he did yesterday. It's not. I'm not looking him to throw looking for him to throw the team under the bus, or I'm not saying the circumstance with the general manager. Yesterday, in isolation, he stands up there and talks to the media and is fooling himself more than anything else. Well, Zach's our guy. We're going to double down. Like, it's so blatantly obvious what the organization's trying to do. They're trying to feed Zach Wilson.
He's covering for everybody. He's taking the hit. And it's going to probably cost him his job. He's taking the hit.
Well, no, he's going to get fired because he can't coach.
Well,
thing.
Admittedly, it's hard to win without competent quarterback play. I just don't think the Jets are using Wilson properly, but that's a different story. I don't want to really go down that now. I don't think that they do.
Before we get back to the calls here, and it's BT and Sal on the Fan, our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. If you're Robert Saleh, this is who you're going to be attaching your wagon to?
No, I don't want. Listen,
you're going out, BT.
Yeah, we got to go out guns a-blazing.
Well,
you want to go out with Timmy Boyle?
No.
Listen, here's the thing: if Robert Saleh had Matt Ryan or Jacoby Brissett or whomever in the building, at least in the building, then at least Robert Saleh has an opportunity to give a different response yesterday. There was nowhere else to go because of the situation his GMs put him in. And I'm not a big believer. I'm more of a Douglas believer, much more than Saleh. I got to call a spade a spade. I got to keep it honest, got to keep it real. What the hell is he going to do? I mean, he can come up with the most creative story. He can lambaste the kid. It doesn't matter. Tim Boyle is the only other quarterback in the building. He's got to try to keep it together, Saleh.
For me, it's a matter of being honest. Like, we all know what the situation is. I'm not saying the situation's a good one, but be honest with the situation. Stop lying to us. Danny's in Centerport. What's up, Danny?
Hey, Danny.
Hey, guys, listen, BT and Saleh, you know, as usual, I'm going to get to a point here, but just bear with me here. Friday, I drove down to South Carolina, for family weekend. I had you guys on the Odyssey app the whole way, which was awesome. Coming home yesterday, same thing, and I couldn't get through. I lost service and so on and so forth. We're being lied to here. Okay, completely being lied to right now. I couldn't see the game, so I taped the game, right, PT? So the strikeout after a 12-hour drive, I get home yesterday and I watch the game on tape, and I'm watching it, I'm rewinding, and I'm seeing things that I can't believe that I'm seeing that this kid's completely missing. Listen, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, just like you talked about, right? I wanted to support this kid, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. But when I'm in my living room on my piece of garbage 60-inch TV on a DVR, and I'm rewinding things and seeing things that this kid is not missing, that he is missing the simplest read, that he can't come off the play, he can't hit a simple blitz read and just get the ball completely out. Why am I seeing it as a fan? Now, I'm watching football 45 years, right? So
yep.
I played the game. I know what I'm watching a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
How can I see it? How can I do it? And they want to lie to us and tell us that this kid is advanced and he's on it. That's number one. Just like you just said, I like Douglas and I want, but he.
Well, I don't want to get into, and thank you for the call, Danny. You went on plenty there. I think we got the point. How about the fact, BT, and Danny brings up a good point here. How about the fact that Robert Saleh is saying he saw growth? If he said so, he didn't have to go to that extent. He said he's seen growth.
Oh, by the way, I said the same thing.
You guys are both nuts then.
No turnovers.
But that's
But that represents growth.
No, it doesn't.
Sure, it does. It's the first starting point of growth.
No, it doesn't.
You can't advance forward if you can't stop going backwards.
Oh my God! It's not just about the turnovers. I mean, it's about watching him play. He's shown growth. It's one thing if you believe that, BT.
Uh-huh.
No offense, you're not running the Jets.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm not a coach. I got you.
He's the head coach. You believe that you've seen growth? Like, I was thinking about this after watching it yesterday. There are only two people in this town who still believe in Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
You
and
the guy you want out of here, Robert Saleh.
The guy that I want out of here. I don't think he's a very good coach, but I think that, listen, I think it is one of the easiest things to do is to pile on when you're angry. Hey, look at poor Tiki getting the brunt of Hurricane Joe yesterday. I mean, everybody's losing all aspect of sensibility at this point. So I'm just here to remind everybody that I don't think the Jets are utilizing him properly. I still don't. I'm sorry. You're running first down. I'm not. It doesn't matter. You know. Romo said it. You said it. I said it. All right. They don't use his arm. They don't use his speed. I don't think they're using him properly. I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer. Not even saying he's going to be a quality starter. What I'm saying is I think there's a little more there. And you don't need a ton more to squeeze out some wins with this defense.
George.
So I get what Saleh is saying. He also has to say because Joe hasn't gotten him another backup.
The other thing is that Saleh can control it. If he truly does believe in Zach Wilson and has seen growth, then do what you're saying.
But he doesn't know offense, which is part of my problem. He can't even
yeah.
knock on Hackett's door and say, do this, because he's a defensive guy.
George is calling from Colts Neck, New Jersey. What's up, George?
Hey, George.
Good morning, guys. Love the show.
Thank you.
You're spot on, buddy. And Sal, I love you. I listen to you on the late nights. Saleh is just being paid millions of dollars. He has to support his team until his boss tells him, listen, he's gone. Until then, he's a player. He's on the team. He has to support him. He can't throw him under the under the bus. His boss is saying, listen, I'm paying you millions of dollars a year. You're going to do what I say, and if you don't like it, there's the door. So, as a Jets fan, I have to live with the fact that even though I don't think he's where he needs to be right now as far as a quarterback.
You know where he sounds, George? I'm sorry, George, and thank you for the call, and we do appreciate the support. He sounds like he doesn't know his ass from his elbow. He sounds lost. So I don't want to hear, oh, well, that's what he should be saying. What do you want him to say? Sound like you're in control. Sound like you have an idea of what you're doing. Sound like the alpha male in the room. Whether BT his boss is or not, right or wrong, speak the truth. Sound like you have a clue. And by backing Zach Wilson, doubling down, saying that you've seen growth, saying that he's the guy, gives you the best chance to win, we need to do more around him. That, to me, says you don't know what the hell you are talking about. And as the head coach, that to me is unacceptable.
Let me spit it this way. So, interesting term. You said act like the alpha male. Okay. I think one of the big issues with Saleh is that he's always looked like the alpha male. When has he ever sounded like one?
Never.
Okay. So if anything, this is what I'm saying. This is him. Like, he doesn't call players out. He doesn't show any outward aggression or lack of acceptance, or belligerence when things go awry. Rightly or wrongly, and you and I are wired very differently from what he projects publicly. I know deep down it's killing him. I'm sure he's, breaking stuff behind, throwing his fist through a drywall. I get it. But Robert Saleh yesterday was not different from the Robert Saleh we've seen the first 2.5 years. This is him. This is who he is. And that's why I don't think he's going to be here very long. But at least I know yesterday there was nothing else to say. Well, there's no other option. You got to try to salvage the kid. Last thing you do is, I think that Zach thinks right now. I don't think Zach knows me, but he should. Because to your point, along with, his mom and Saleh and Hackett and me, I don't think anybody else believes in the kid.
Right.
So how counterproductive would it be, at least until it's another quarterback here, to just crush whatever and demoralize him further? How would that be smart?
I don't even know if it's demoralizing. If you tell him the truth, that might be helping him. Hey, kid, you suck. Pick it up. Now, look, we tried the support. I told you, we said we were going to go out there. Well, I mean, really, you don't have to be that harsh. But the reality is you can't keep coddling him. Like, at some point, it's been now 3 years. They set up Zach Wilson for failure. I understand that. But this is a different situation here. And you can try to boost his confidence, and I get that early on. It's now, after losing that game, like, somebody's got to be real here. And by the way, I'm not saying, like, go out there and tell the media, yeah, well, I don't know what we're supposed to do. The kid's an embarrassment at quarterback. But call it how it is. He's not very good, and you can't say, well, we believe it. I'm like, here's the biggest issue, BT. Do you think Saleh believes what he's saying?
No.
So that's a problem. Because if you don't believe what you're saying, we don't believe what you're saying. Do you think Zach believes what you're saying? The answer is no. And then it's, well, what good is that? Joe is calling from Parsippany. Joe?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's
I
up,
don't even
Joe?
know why we're surprised about Wilson being this bad this year and Saleh lying about everything with this. He shouldn't even been back on the team this year. I mean, obviously we're not expecting Rodgers to go down, but why would you even want him to go in for a series this year? This kid is who he is. We knew this from last year. Thanks, guys.
Last year he was 5-2 at one point. It's got to be brought back up. He's 5-2. It was.
Hold on, I screwed up this call. Can you cut him off there, Dove?
I don't know.
You
Let
see
me help
the
you out.
screen
I
here?
got
What'd
you.
I do
I got you.
here?
Oh, that's the worst one. You're
the hell
deep
is
down a
this
rabbit
here?
hole now. You have no idea.
Cancel that.
All right, so Sal, we'll see you in 3 hours, buddy. Sal's going to be busy for a while digging himself out
There
of
we go.
that.
I got it. We're back.
I was going to
Okay,
take a
thanks.
picture of it, show
This
everybody
call
on social
screener
media.
here. You touch one thing, this touch screen. My fat finger's getting in the way here.
I mean, listen.
Just be honest, BT. That's what I want. Honesty.
Now, listen. Honesty is a great policy. I don't fundamentally disagree with that. He had no turnovers. Now, we can quibble about how very few plays he actually had. But if he said what he said after a 3-pick game, that's different.
Think about what you're saying, though. He had no turnovers. They couldn't move the football.
Until they let him do what he wants to do, and they let him throw it around. Then he was 7 of 8, 7 of 9, 90 yards, and moved the football down the field like he was a 10-year, 5-time All-Pro. Looked phenomenal.
BT,
but when you hand it off on a first down, when you never throw it on first down, when guys don't get separation, listen, Sal, I'm not completely disagreeing with you. I get it, all right? But as one of the waning, lone Zach defenders, you got to understand. And I know that we all love Garrett Wilson, and he seems destined with better quarterback play to be an absolute superstar. Forget about Keyshawn Corbett. Forget about Altoon, Don Maynard. This guy will be the best Jets receiver of all time. Trust me, if he gets competent quarterback play. But he got abused on Sunday. He got locked down by a young corner. Garrett, I know he was open that one time when Zach dumped it down. I saw the film as well. But I also saw a lot of plays where he couldn't shake his man. And there was just nowhere to throw the ball. So I don't ignore that stuff.
I worry about the locker room as well, because if we're sitting here, or at least me sitting here, and a lot of people watching that nonsense yesterday, listening to that, and we don't believe it, and you even admit, even though you're backing Saleh here, even you admit that Saleh himself doesn't believe it. I don't think Zach believes it. Nobody in that locker room is going to believe it. They're already. You don't think that those guys in that locker room are already talking and chirping and ripping like
they did it last year, 100%.
Exactly.
That's why I got a big issue with Saleh.
I agree
with that. They're chirping.
Oh my
They're
God!
chirping.
I think he made it worse yesterday by just not being honest. Saleh doesn't get it, and soon he will be gone. Now it's a story for a different day with him and Douglas and all that stuff. But off of those comments yesterday, I mean, my God, Robert Saleh is delusional. The only thing worse than the Jets' play on the field is the talking off of it. They're lost.